Blessed be y'all, this is Jen Freemind. I have got my Book of the Law. You probably know what I'm going to read here. One of the most famous quotes that Aleister Crowley is credited with. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. There is no law beyond. Do what thou wilt. And I've been thinking about that. Been thinking about, finding my true will and stuff like that. If you're watching this video, I won't elaborate on, that's the surface meaning of that is not what that means. But if you're watching this video, you probably know that already. I hope you know that already. It's more about, finding your own true will. And I was thinking about that today. I've been thinking about it for a while now because when I was younger, I would say to myself, I want to do what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it. And I've come to the conclusion mostly what I wanted to do is practice my addictions and obsessions in peace, without somebody around to say anything to me. But the ironic thing is, I'm at that place in my life, for the most part, I can do what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it. But, I had to give up all that crap that I wanted to do back then to be able to get to that place. And so it's not as simple as, oh, okay, now I'm free and I can just go and do all that stuff that I wanted to do. No, I had to leave all that stuff behind so I could get to that place. And so, life is kind of an irony like that most of the time. And so that's what I'm trying to do is figure out, what is my true will? What do I really want to do? If you've been watching my videos, that's one of the questions that pops up frequently is, what do I want? There's definitely a difference between wants and likes and things like that, and what is your true will? Wants and likes and stuff like that's going to come and go. That's going to come and go with the fashions of the world, with what's available for you to do and not do, things like that. Especially when I got into recovery, there was some stuff that I decided I was going to indulge myself in. Let's just put it that way. And I won't go into details of that, but it was things that I had always thought that I wanted to do, and that for various reasons, I always thought that they were not necessarily wrong, just that for various reasons I was not going to do those things. Kind of a, my own sort of, quote, ethic or something like that. And it wasn't because God told me they were wrong or anything. It was just that I thought for myself that, I wouldn't do those things. And I purposely went out and did a lot of stuff that I had previously thought was not for me. And the point is, what I found was that it wasn't what I was looking for, not that it was a bad experience. None of the experiences I had doing that sort of thing were bad experiences. Some were better than others. Some were pretty damn awesome. But in the end, I saw that that was not what I was looking for. I was looking for a certain feeling. I was looking for a certain satisfaction, uh, something in my own self that could say that, I've done this thing, and I can be proud of myself because I have done these things, and that didn't quite work out the way I planned it. It didn't seem like I had accomplished something or something like that. I don't regret doing any of that stuff. I don't regret it at all because it taught me a lot about who I am, what I really want, and it taught me a lot about the programming of the world and how it had affected me, and how I was programmed to think that those things were going to be things that would make me happy, make me fulfilled, give me a sense of being somebody in the world, being somebody that could get things done, could do things, uh, stuff like that. And that, it still comes back to, what do I really want? And I'm formulating some magics right now in my head and figure out, you know, some ritual work to actually bring what my true will is into focus so that I can actually put that into practice. Because the days just go by, and I haven't seemed to accomplish anything. And I keep thinking to myself, well, what do I want to do? And a lot of the times that, I have to eat, I have to sleep, uh, things like that. There's a few, domestic things that I have to do to be a civilized human being. Let's just say that. I got to do laundry. I got to, uh, keep things relatively clean. Take a shower every now and then at least. Uh, so that's what I keep thinking. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? And a lot of times I end up just watching stuff on Amazon Prime or stuff on YouTube. I've watched a lot of stuff on YouTube, and a lot of times it gets my brain into overload that I don't know what to do with. I have to step back and kind of uh, you know watch some stuff or read some stuff or do some stuff that's not quite so taxing on the brain, because a lot of times I watch a lot of things or read a lot of stuff that it's a lot of heavy information that you got to collate and file away and figure out how that works with what you already know, and if what you already know is right or wrong, or how to uh, sift through and figure out what you think is true and what's not true. And there's I see that there's not absolute truth in pretty much anything. people could say that, science is absolute truth because they've proved it. Well, they have not necessarily proved a lot of things. And I've noticed something interesting about stuff on YouTube. There's a lot of people going on about the flat Earth, and I can't wrap my brain around that. I don't want to wrap my brain around that. I think that's a totally archaic idea. But I watched a few videos about them talking about it, and they do actually make some points. But but what it does show is that you can prove anything you want. If you make up the exotic math or whatever that you need to prove it. Because yes, they did have it mathematically proven that the Earth was flat and that everything rotated around the Earth. Many many years ago, and it's in modern times. We see our planet as a sphere, and it orbits around the sun and all that, and that has its own mathematical equations that go with it too. And it makes a lot of sense to somebody who's been raised that way and told that all their lives. You can't. I can't really think that it would be any other way. But with that in mind, I think to myself, how about somebody in the 10th century who was an educated person who did know how to do mathematics, who also learned, how to calculate all this stuff in relation to a flat Earth model. Or shall we say a terracentric universe. And, they would have just as much trouble thinking that the world was a sphere and that we orbited around the sun. They would have just as much trouble with that. And I find it hard to believe that, NASA has faked all the pictures and everything else to make us think we live on a ball for political reasons. That's going a bit far for me. But anyway, I'm going to put up some of these videos that I've been watching, and, I don't believe a lot of this stuff that I've seen. But it certainly makes you think. If you're open to thinking about it, it makes you think. And I think that's a good thing, to make you think. Because certainly that's what the world system does not want you to do. And so anything you can do that is against the world system, I'm for that. So anyway, this is Gen Free Mind. Blessed be y'all.